the big Amico news. Yeah. Amico news. Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Amico News Updates. Yeah. Now, today's big news update, we got word from the man himself, Phil Adams, the man who will single-handedly prove all the people wrong that didn't like the Amico or didn't think that it had a chance. And I think one day after he's done with the Intellivision, he's going to finish his work with the Coleco Chameleon and get it launched too. Just to prove all the haters wrong. Now in today's episode, we'll cover a little bit about the updates on Tommy Tallarico. I recently watched the Roblox Oof video by Bomber Guy, or H Bomber Guy. I've never seen it before, so I thought it was quite interesting. We'll cover it a bit. We'll cover Pat and his updates about what he's been saying about Intellivision and the Amico. I haven't really watched the show too much lately, but I did catch a couple episodes, finally. It's been eons, so got back into watching the Pat the NES Punk, the CU podcast. And just like to thank all the faithful Amico fans that here's the big time win news we got today. I know with Amico forever gone, and imitators trying to take over the show and make fun of it, well, we're just going to have to throw shit the bed for them, right? Throw shit the bed for them. No, I don't condone throwing shit in anyone's bed. I've had quite a few shitty messes to clean up lately, so definitely wouldn't want that. All right, won't get into any details on that. All right, anyways, let's go to the big update. We got the email that just came in yesterday. I think it came in at like 11 p.m., so maybe a lot of YouTubers haven't had a chance to cover it. Came in from his truly, Phil Adams, the CEO. So we'll scroll back up to the top and we'll go over, I won't read the whole thing word for word verbatim, but what we will do is cover the highlights. So it's been over a year since Phil's become the CDO or CEO. It's been a difficult time for the business. And what a lot of the critics I think are right in a way is Tommy didn't leave the business in very good shape. He's having a rough go for his first time as CEO. He's having his hard time doing it as I am pronouncing it. So there's been a long list of disappointments. They had to let go almost all their staff, which I find hilarious. People ever notice, and the critics of Intellivision, they're like, oh, Intellivision has too much staff. They're wasting all this money. And then next thing you know, they lay off the staff. Oh, Intellivision, they don't have enough staff to give out the refunds. It's like, okay, well, make up your mind. Do you want staff or don't you? If you don't want staff to be wasting money, guess what? Then you don't have anyone to do anything. Now, I know Tommy gave the perception that he can do everything as he was online talking a lot, but no, I'm sure no one can do everything. All right, so they restructured the management, got Tommy out of the CEO position. All right, so he distilled stuff, countless hours, bringing people of various ages into the living room experience to play. They still haven't dropped that idea yet. I was thinking, as much as the critics, I don't agree with everything. There's some things I do. And I think one of the biggest mistakes, which Tommy could prove us all wrong, is that not having online play, especially in the age of pandemics where people really aren't in each other's living rooms. So it'd be kind of like if the earth was flooded and then all of a sudden someone came out with a product that'd be like, this is how you deal with droughts. It'd be like, why are you selling a drought product during a flood, right? Like, It's the exact opposite. But we are living in the opposite age right now. We'll talk a little bit more of prophecies of the ancient Persians and the Anunnaki, the ancient stuff that Tommy's into in his dining room. Sorry, no chat today, but YouTube's doing something weird with the videos. I noticed that when I do a live stream of Intellivision, it doesn't get posted. So I'm like, even though I posted it, it's just not in the search results. But if I do it offline and update it to YouTube, it's fine with that. It'll allow it to come up in search results. Not sure why that is. If anyone knows, can put it in the chat. So I don't know. Tommy could be right. Like, I'm not gonna argue like saying that I know everything in video games. Obviously, that's what a lot of the critics of Tommy say, but Tommy really does have like what 50 plus years of video game experience, where I'm not even 50 years old yet, so I'll have to concede that Tommy likely does know a lot more about video games than me, especially being employed, where I'm just a fan of it. All right, so oh, and the other thing I was thinking, I think they covered a little bit. All right, so it says they need to do some changes. Change one, licensing our IP to development partners who have a product pedigree that are creatively aligned and best poised to bring something great to market. So I think what this says here is IPs, they mean games. So the games that they own, they're going to license them to people who can actually make games rather than like giving it to the Germans. I'm sure the Germans are pretty good at some stuff. No pun intended. But oh, that was terrible. But anyways, the Germans, yeah, they make an okay game, but really if we want a really good game, we're probably going to have to license it to other people. So that's good. They've moved on from the Germans and they're giving the game licenses to actual competent game developers. That was one thing I was wondering too, is a lot of fan-made games actually look drastically better than what Intellivision was showing us in their clips. So I was like, why is it that Tommy was on like different video game presentations talking about Amico and going on and on about how fans were going to be able to like make games and stuff, but then he came out with the bad news that he's going to try to limit stuff. His vegan philosophy of taking things away and giving you less and less is somehow good. So like that was the one biggest criticism that I had with Tommy when he first started announcing the Amico. He said that he wanted less games so that you wouldn't have to screen through a whole bunch of crappy games to find out the one that you actually liked. I was thinking Tommy is a game reviewer. That's how I know him. He was on TV in Canada for years, and that's literally what his job description was playing a whole bunch of crappy games and then presenting the good ones that people would actually want to play. So I was thinking, isn't it kind of weird that you're coming out with a console that goes against the very thing that made you great in the first place? Now, it's one thing I'd like to say too with the bomber guy when he talks about Tommy and very a lot of critical about things that are going on with Tommy's background in the company is, yeah, I'd like to agree with some of what he says, that when he goes on about Tommy exaggerating what he's done good and emphasizing things that he really didn't have much of a part in, arguably, debatably, we'll have to hear Tommy's side. I don't think we've heard his side in ages. But anyways, I was just thinking like he's right about those things to a degree because when it comes to Tommy, I don't like Tommy's music in video games. Never have, never will. Maybe he'll come out with something, but I've just like to say like right off the bat, when he starts listing all these video games that he's made sound for, I don't give a shit about any of that. It could all be someone else and I wouldn't really care one way or the other. When it comes to video games live, that is pretty good, but it's still like on a scale of the best things Tommy's done. I think video games live doesn't even make the top 10. Now, what I was thinking, things that Tommy's done that I really like was his work on Video Games Live, or not Video Games Live, Electric Playground. I got Video Games Live on the brain. If anyone wants a copy that Tommy gave me, Video Games Live poster for the 2018 show in Kitchener, my hometown. Yeah, just let us know in the chat. I'll try to mail one out to you. And just remember, too, that you'll have to give me a physical mailing address in order for me to mail it. I will get rid of the mailing address. I promise I won't use it to come to your house and meet your parents, start sleeping in your bed. Just kidding. That's only happened once and it'll never happen again. I promise. No, because we're still together. Anyways, so yeah, let's get on more with the email. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, the one thing Bomber guy was right is, yeah, that Tommy often keeps like emphasizing stuff he's done and boosting and bolstering his resume. But I don't really give a shit about like 99% of the stuff that's on there. The only one I really think he's any good at was Electric Playground. That show was fucking amazing. Not to bash Tommy or anything. Like, I give him props. It's like, hey, he's trying to diversify, making music and playing on a band and doing the video games live. It's all cool and stuff, but just on the scale of coolness, video games live is like pretty good. And yeah, his music and stuff for video games pretty good. But then you have like Electric Playground was like through the roof, like off the charts, way better. So yeah, I think Tommy actually does spend too much time hyping up things that really are irrelevant. Like, I get it. He's like, "Oh, I made video games and oh, I did all this stuff," but really the only one that matters to me is the Electric Playground. And it's not to be mean or anything. It's just to be honest, like, right? Like, someone starts singing, like one of your friends or relatives, and they have a horrible voice, and you tell them like, "Oh, you're actually a great singer. You should sing all the time. You should invest in like spending all your time and money trying to sing, even though you know they're a terrible singer." So sometimes you just got to be honest, not get carried away telling white lies. Right, so they're gonna license their IP to other developers, sticking what they do good. Television has good games. Hopefully, they can make good hardware. But yeah, the game development, oh, especially modern games, they really need other companies making these games. And their whole way of like bringing less games. I was just thinking, Jesus, like, Bomber guy brought it up in his video, the one making fun of Tommy for like, I don't know, 2 hours. But yeah, he brings it up as like part of the thing that Tommy was fighting over was with Roblox and that oof sound. If anyone's seen his video, and Tommy wanted to take the credit for creating all of Roblox, get paid I don't know how much for creating Roblox, right? If you believe that you were responsible for creating it, because he was saying that the oof sound was essentially what made Roblox. Now, I guess to argue with that on Tommy's defense, I do think the oof sound was like 99% of what made Roblox such a popular and good game. But the other 1% that was like a really crucial factor also, less than the oof sound, was the model of Roblox. It literally lets gamers create games like Tommy had promised with the Amico, but to actually get revenue and have it shared with all the other gamers. So I was thinking that's what Amico really should have followed the philosophy of. Here they are dealing, or Tommy's dealing all this fights with Roblox. I was like, dear God, man, instead of fighting Roblox, work with Roblox. Like, Roblox is literally your target audience, all those kids. Do you know how many kids are going to say no to buying the Intellivision Amico as soon as they find out Tommy Tellerico was involved? Like, if you ask any Roblox player what they think of Tommy Tellerico, I think 99.9% of them are going to hate his guts. Why? Because he was trying to leverage money out of them. Now, I get it. Like, if you're an artist, you create stuff, and the way our copyright system currently is, it's fucking corrupt as hell. So if you want to like get into bed with the corruption and try to milk it, that's what the copyright system is all about. Now everyone's thinking, "Oh, I kiss Tommy's ass all the time." This is one part of Tommy's aspect I'm not really a big fan of. This whole idea of trying to exploit copyrights and milk things for all they're worth. Like, I'm a big person when it comes to hating on communism. I think one thing communism did good is there is a certain element of sharing that our society should have. Should everything be free? Obviously not, because we have a limited amount of resources. But when it comes to like information and music and like movies and stuff, I really think it's time, and technology, I think it's time that our society drops the whole copyright idea to begin with so that people can just share freely. This idea of banning sharing and trying to exploit money out of it, it's fucking crazy, man. I can't believe how far we've pushed it. Like, did you know Happy Birthday, you literally can't sing it without paying royalties? So if I wanted to like sing it on my show right now, I can't. I have to sing like a different song that's not monetized or whatever. Like, how fucked up is that shit? And people are like, oh, well, how would our society ever function if we didn't have copyrights? Look at languages, for instance. Is the English language copyrighted? Can you imagine it was? And every time you spoke, you had to pay fees for like each word. It's like, that's literally how copyrights work, right? Like, how far are we going to fuck our society over before we're like, hey, man, let's make serious changes to the copyright laws where we like totally legalize sharing information and works and what all that. Like, can you imagine if a company, like, one thing that pissed me off within television is when they lost money licensing HDMI. Then you know what pissed me off about that? I didn't even fucking know you had to license HDMI. Can you imagine? There's like a format that the government's like, oh, you have to use this cord. You're like, okay, I'll design my product to use the cord. And they're like, oh, by the way, you have to pay a fucking licensing fee to use the technology. I'm like, but you just fucking mandated it. You can't mandate something and then sell it, can you? Isn't that against the free market system? Like, dear God, if you want to add a HDMI to your product, you shouldn't have to fucking pay anyone jack shit. People that invented HDMI are all upset because they're not getting royalties. Say, fuck them. We got thousands of people that will design it for free. We'll make those the standard. Like, what the hell, man? This fucking exploiting HDMI. So yeah, it's sad that Intellivision got the licensing for HDMI and then lost it because they didn't launch the console in time. And as much as Pat the NES Punk loves to see the investors' money go down the toilet because he takes his arguments with Tommy personally, and it's his life goal or magnus opus to try to destroy the investors' investment, allegedly. Now, I just think it's fucked up, right? Like, when Pat and Ian go on and on about how they're trying to save people from investing in Amico, well, I got news for you. There's already fucking like tens of millions of dollars invested. Stopping people from investing, that time is long past. Right now, the only thing you're doing when you're making fun of the Amico is fucking over all the investors, right? You know, the people with tens of millions of dollars on the line. Do you think they like watching a show that's like libeling their investments? Allegedly. Now people will be like, oh, Leland, you're worried about losing your Intellivision investment, are you? It's like, fuck, man, I didn't invest in it. I wish I did. If I had the money right now, I still would. So if anyone wants to see me lose money investing in Intellivision, there's a way to make that happen. At least the investing part. Will I actually lose money on the investment? Depends. Are Pat and Ian right? All right, let's get on with this email. Sorry for ranting. Leveraging your IPs in ways that in delivery on Amico expands your content to new audiences. Yeah, that's the good thing. Get those Intellivision games out on the market so they start bringing in revenue and get them in a market where people will actually see them, like on cell phones, right? Like, it'd be funny, man. Like, give this a shot. People are making fun of what Tommy can do. What happens if Tommy gets his games, or Intellivision gets the Amico games, out onto cell phones? They can call up, what's his name? Victor Lucas. And be like, hey, Victor Lucas, you know your Electric Playground show? Have we got some games for you to cover this week? So then all of a sudden, Tommy and Victor Lucas team up and start reviewing some of the games. Now, people will be like, oh, Tommy reviewing his own games. Why would he want to do that? Turns out, when I was watching The Bomber Guy, I didn't even realize Tommy's reviewed his own games many times before. So, And it'd be kind of funny too if Victor Lucas played the devil's advocate, like how Tommy used to always do it. So now Tommy will be hyping up the game and Victor will be shitting on it. That'd be kind of hilarious. All right, enough shit talk. Acquiring the new IP embodies Amico fits our strategic focus. Oh, they're going to acquire new IPs. So not only are they going to keep like milking the old Intellivision licenses, they're going to try to get some new ones. I think that's a good idea with like indie game developers. Why the Intellivision is going on that idea of less games, meaning less people can make them. They should just follow the Roblox idea. Give all the Intellivision players the engine to make their own games and then start sharing them with each other, buying them off each other, and Tommy getting a cut of all the transactions. That's how I would do it if I was Tommy, but like, fuck this idea of trying to limit stuff. It's too vegan. I fucking hate vegan philosophies. I shouldn't say I hate it, I just despise it. Our commitment to delivering a unique and innovative platform that brings people together, it's not wavered. I'm like opposite vegan. I want more of everything, not less. What has changed in our philosophy is how we deliver that experience. Yeah. Like if they really want to change how they deliver the experience, what I would do if I was them, fuck man, release a normal controller for God's sakes. I get it that this motion controller with the screen is like all this cool technology, but apparently it's still beyond our capabilities. So eventually, what are you going to do? Fold the project because you can't get this fucking controller to work? Or just come out with a goddamn normal controller until you get it working? Like that was the philosophy behind Nintendo when it first started launching. They would take the cheapest fuck technology they could and try to make something with it that was tolerable. They didn't go for the biggest top of the line technology and then try to sell it. It's too expensive. It's not a good business model. Could be, you never know. Tommy could prove us wrong, but I think baby steps to get there at least. Start with basic technology and work your way up to the advanced shit. Who knows? Maybe Amico could work its way all the way up to holograms. Wouldn't that be funny in the future, like 20 years from now? Tommy's like, what would he be, like 80 years old? And all of a sudden we got Amico or Intellivision holograms in every living room. So instead of playing video games on like monitors and stuff, you're like, oh, that's the past, right? We're playing fucking Intellivision games on the coffee table holograms, watching TV on holograms, watching sports on holograms, watching video games live concerts on a hologram coming out of your coffee table. We know it's coming. Will it be by Intellivision? Let's hope. So that's what I was thinking. The whole Intellivision Amico strategy of coming out with less new firsts. Like their original strategy behind Intellivision, they're like, oh, we're always the top of the line technology and stuff. Now they're not. Well, that's the funny thing. You could almost say they're not and they are. It's like they went for the oldest school technology of basic cell phones, but souped it up with like the most expensive parts for one. So it's like the worst of both. Amico Home. So this new announcement, Amico Home, as part of the strategy, we plan to bring the Amico experience to other hardware platforms, starting with mobile and under the Amico Home, the name Amico Home. So is Amico Home on cell phones? I think that's what it means. Amico Home will dramatically reduce the hardware footprint needed to enjoy Amico games and provide more developers the opportunity to explore the creative potential of in-room multiplayer games with their innovative smartphone controllers. This is to explore. So I don't get it. If you're playing Amico Home, you're playing it on a cell phone. Why did they start mentioning the controllers again? Oh, smartphone controllers. That's why. See, I was thinking that was a good idea. Everyone talked about how Tommy screwed up that investment where that guy gets $100 from every console sold. Here's the solution to the problem. Get the Amico games out and let other companies make it. Like make the hardware to play it. So they can make their own cell phones. They can play the Amico games. So this way, it's sort of like when 3DO came out. They can get Panasonic making them, Samsung making them, uh, Gold Star, whatever companies, they can make them. So that way, when they make them, they won't have to pay any royalties to that $100 to that guy because it's a different company making them. I think that's a good workaround. I don't know if that's what that means, but so that's the funny thing. Everyone mentions the roadblocks that have encountered along the Amico path to victory, but those roadblocks aren't always necessarily bad. They could be just things that, hey, I can turn it here, turn it there, help guide you to a better future. It's like in life, right? A lot of times life disasters happen, but sometimes those disasters help open doorways that you never saw before. Blows the rocks off some boulders that were blocking your path that you never even knew. All right, they're experiencing the public getting into the Intellivision. They're truly thankful for everyone that's stayed faithful. Me and who else? DJC. Now, there's not to make fun of it, there's lots of people that are still faithful to Amico. I think what it is the distractors or detractors. They're the ones that tend to get all the press because they're the most vocal. They talk about how much they hate the Amico. So that's why we hear it. A lot of people that love the Amico, they're just not making videos about it because they love it and they don't really care about the haters to respond to them. All right, so they've made some Amico club list. That's cool. I was thinking what Intellivision should do too is people talk about, oh, the pre-order people can't get the refunds or whatever. I think a lot of those pre-orders were like really rare for like cool special consoles. And a lot of people that didn't buy those in time still want to get the rare pre-orders. So I was thinking what they should do is set up some sort of system where people are like, hey, I want a refund. I don't want my Intellivision pre-order anymore. And they can communicate with people. They're like, hey, I do want Intellivision pre-orders, but they're all sold out. So that they could communicate with each other and exchange it, right? Like, I don't know, not to make fun of it, but if I had a Intellivision pre-order, I might even like charge a little bit of a fee increase, right? Like, oh, you want to get your Intellivision pre-order now that all of the companies turned itself around and it looks like the Amico is coming out after all. Who would have thought that Tommy or Tommy, Pat and Ian and Darius and everyone that was making fun of the Amico, could it be that they were just full of shit the whole time? And it turned out that Amico actually is a good product. It is still coming out and it could even still make investors money. Not to offer investor advice, not doing that. But yeah, I'm not a professional investor. So I just think it's interesting. The Amico Club list, we'll have to check more into that. The vibrant support. Let's look what other things we had ready for today's show. So not to make fun of Pat and Ian so much. Like I actually really loved their show. I loved it how they put my questions on the air, helped my channel grow. That was really nice of them. That's actually something that I like Tommy for as well. He helps other channels grow. I notice everyone's been making roast videos of Tommy lately, but don't you think everyone it's overdue that we start making some Tommy love videos? Not that kind. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, I'm talking like videos of people that lives were touched by Tommy. And he actually helped them and got them like inspired to improve their lives. Like I don't know, like he touched my life in a positive way watching my podcast when I was just starting and saying he liked the shows and that inspired me to keep going. So I really appreciate it. Even though I don't have a giant channel or anything, having him watching and giving me that support, that was like really helpful in my life. So I'm sure there's other people. Tommy just didn't watch my channel. He's probably been watching a lot of other people's channels over the years. So if anyone wants to share stories of that, I'd appreciate it. Because I know a lot of people get laughs making fun of Tommy. I know it is a big roast atmosphere, and sometimes roasts are funny and all, but I think the roasts have gone on long enough, and it's time some of the people that actually still like Tommy and are friends with him, even though he's having trouble not the end times when it comes to Amico, but we know there's been a few roadblocks. And so we covered all that. Phil Adams, wishing him the best of luck. I know he's had some family tragedies too. So hopefully he's feeling better and gets some luck getting everything back on track. All right. Oh, yeah. I checked Phil Adams' Twitter page. Looks like there's some cool stuff going on about there. This is from 2021. Old school. Best consumer technology innovation in television entertainment 2021. That's actually what my product was getting too, was everyone was saying was the biggest innovation in the industry in years. So it's kind of neat. I'd like to see that award. Hopefully I'll get one of those awards officially one day. Oh yeah, we're talking about the very philosophy when it comes to hating and loving Amico. And I just wanted to clarify for some people when they talk about like what their job is and why they do it. So ancient Persians or like the ancient Anunnaki, like the religion that came from those half bird people, the gods or whatever. It talks about the two different types of spirits that we encounter in the universe throughout our daily lives. And one of them happens to be a creator spirit, and the other is a destructive spirit. So there's some people throughout their lives that will be inspired to just shit on other people's work and try to destroy. And then there's other people that are very creative. They like to come up with products, risk trying all their money to release it and get it out onto the market. So there's always that battle between creation and destruction. Now, I'm not going to be totally shit on Pat, the NES punk, because he does seem to work to the destructive or evil spirits, where he constantly makes fun of like the scumbags of the week. They're usually just people trying as hard as they can in a difficult life, and they don't really need Pat shitting on them. But that's his nature, right? Like he points out the destructive qualities that he has and the evil nature, always shitting on people and bringing them down. But not to make fun of it either. Pat isn't always like that because he actually inspired me as well. Well, that's why I find Tommy and Pat are very similar. Is they both like to criticize and make fun of things, but they're also got an upside where they promote things and try to help people and bring them up. Pat did that once too when I messaged him and I was saying, "Hey, things are going pretty rough in my life, but thanks for your show. It helps cheer me up." He responded and everything and was very positive. So shout out to Pat. Shouldn't make fun of him always saying he's an evil, destructive spirit. I think everyone has a balance of that, right? Some people are a little bit more destructive than others and such, but so that's how I noticed when it comes to like the haters and lovers of Intellivision. Sure, Intellivision has got some issues, but they're working for the creative spirits, trying to get some things created in life and making new positive things. And there's a lot of people that have jumped onto the destruction side, trying to point out every flaw in Tommy's character, every mistake he's ever made in his whole life, and try to uncover it and make videos about it. Like that fucking one bomber guy, like, man, he went to town. It's like Pat, the NES punk, said that it was his magnus opus in life to try to bring Tommy's company down. But when it comes to this guy, the oof sound thing, he goes so in depth trying to make fun of or bring down Tommy's entire character. And I don't know, to some degree, I think he is right. Like, but at what point do you look at everyone's resume in life and be like, how many people put on the resume that they were working as a teacher? Meanwhile, they were actually working as an early child educator slash babysitter. Or some people are like, oh, like I'm a professional musician. Meanwhile, they played like one song at their church or something, right? Like this is the most common thing in human nature is for people to like emphasize more about what their accomplishments are when they're trying to make like a video or some sort of presentation saying that they're good. They're not going to like downplay everything that they did. I guess to a certain degree, like Michael Jordan could make a something and be like, "Oh, I was pretty good at basketball, or I was like an average player." Meanwhile, it turns out he's like one of the best players ever. So that, like, there's the philosophy. Like, what did you expect Tommy to do? Downplay all of his achievements? Obviously, he's going to try to emphasize it, hype it up a little bit. And did he hype it up more than the average person would? Sure, but so yeah, that's what I think a lot of people's YouTube channels, it's very popular, the whole destructive spirit thing, just making fun of people, hate videos, bullying videos. It's a part of our human nature that we enjoy it. Eh? It's like as much as everyone likes to pretend they're saints, a lot of people like watching the train wrecks, right? So we're always looking for someone making fun of other people. But I just think it's interesting that they talk about the creative and destructive spirits, like even so long ago. It's one of the oldest religions in the world. And we still see these battles going on around us all the time. So just remember, everyone, when you're making videos about the Intellivision Amico, are you working with the spirits of creation, trying to bring good and new things into the world? Or are you just shitting on things and trying to make fun of people and bring everyone down around you? Or trying to get people to laugh because you're making fun of someone? Like, really? I shouldn't say that people should stop it because I actually do love watching roast videos myself. That's why Darius is one of my favorite channels because, damn, he's one of the best roasters around. I know a lot of people didn't like him and got his channel taken down or whatever. Fucking pricks. But what can you do? All right, so that's what we covered a little bit on that. We won't get too much into the ancient Anunnaki religions. But they do talk about in that religion too how in the end times or before the next golden age, everything will turn the opposite. Has anyone noticed a few things opposite lately? Like Tommy used to be one of the most beloved characters in video game history, or heroes or figures. But now he's like turned completely opposite. A lot of people just make fun of him all the time. It's kind of sad to see, but if that's required for the next golden age to start, I think we can take it. All right, Iremon, the destructive spirit. We'll close that one. Just going on to see if there's any more Amico news that I had that we were supposed to cover. Roblox oof sound. So big shout out to this guy. His video is actually rather entertaining, the Roblox thing. And I agree with him on some points, especially when it comes to the Roblox sound. I really wish Tommy would have worked out some better agreement with them. Instead of threatening lawsuits and all that shit, I would have tried to work with them as much as possible because and try to follow their business model. Like, hey, this idea of fans making the games and selling them to each other on our platform and us getting a cut of it, it's a fucking genius idea. And it makes the games free in a lot of cases, where the kids or whatever, whoever's playing these games, earns the money to buy them just by creating the games. So technically, they're getting them for free or from their own revenue they create on the platform. Yeah, like Jesus, Tommy, if he could go back in time and try to fix what he did with the Roblox situation, who knows? Maybe it's not too late and he can talk to Roblox again, get everything back to normal with the oof sound, get rid of that whole sound pack idea and buying those or whatever. Or if they do, just don't include the oof sound, keep it as a core part of the game and find some way to work with them. Either make a port of Roblox to Amico, and we say, oh, they don't have ports. Well, you can make some feature exclusive to the Amico, like how it uses the controller or something. So yeah, big shout out to him. I don't know. I watched some of his other videos on his channel, and man, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, but I like disagree with a lot of his stuff. So I'm not trying to hype or say he's all good or all bad. All right, so that's those. See what other Amico news we got. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna show on Tommy Tellerico's page. If you go down to the end, it has some like updates about what's been happening with the Roblox situation. This is where I'm still kind of pissed and disappointed in Tommy, and I hope he can turn that part around. I think if he settles things with Roblox better, that'll be a big first step in like turning the whole Amico ship around. Because I think that was pretty much, you know how in life when something goes really fucked up and you're like, Jesus, seems to tie to a bad decision you made. And even though it's not directly related, everything in your life starts going array or astray. I was thinking that almost seems like the Roblox situation, where Tommy got into the big fight with Roblox right at the time when Amico needed the most support from younger people. So I was like, holy shit, like, as soon as that happened, it sort of set the whole ship astray, right? So I think really, if he wants to turn this ship around, he's got to fix the foundation of what went wrong. And it was basically the Roblox thing. Now it says Tommy purchased a stake in Intellivision after the death of Keith Robinson. So there's obviously other people that still own it. He's not like the full out owner. I always think Tommy was the full owner, but now I was reading, I was like, wait a minute, he only has a stake in it. So Phil Adams. See, Tommy's still got the vegan thing going on. If he wants to turn the ship around, not to make fun of his diet, I think cutting back on meat is a pretty good idea. But to cut it all out of your diet completely, I think that's a horrible mistake. It can fuck up with your judgment on things. So if you really want to like get your full like honest opinion from all aspects, you should really sit down and eat a steak and then see how you feel about the Amico. Really. Not to make fun of veganism. I know it works for some people, but a lot of people in my family, it nearly killed them and ruined their lives. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical that veganism is good for anyone. Even the animals. Like the amount of damage that vegan diets do to animals is crazy. I can't believe anyone would ever say that the vegan diet actually helps animals. For God's sakes. That couldn't be any more not true. I think it's the short term, long term thing, right? You're like, oh, I saved a cow. But in the process of saving the cow, you like kill thousands of like mice or something. Now, where's the end part that talks about what happened with Roblox? Where's the Roblox thing? The fuck, I was just reading it yesterday. Sorry, I'll try not to get angry. Does anyone see it on here? Alright, I guess I'll just type it in the fucking search. I can't find it. Alright, so there's the articles, but where is the part that says it here? Ah, here it is. Alright, so Tommy's company in the year 1909 created the oof sound. Now, there's a big debate whether Tommy really had anything to do with it or if it was just Joey who created it and he happened to be working for Tommy's company at the time. Because originally Tommy did claim that he didn't create it, it was Joey, but then later that's changed to saying that he created it himself, which I think that's another wordplay thing, right? If it's your company, you could say you created it yourself. Yeah, so Tommy got upset about its use. So this is where I think Tommy should have made the biggest mistake ever was starting to be like Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Remember when he shit on Napster? Everyone's like, fuck Metallica, right? Like, dear God, you guys, you're so rich. You're actually stealing the music of Dave Mustaine. Didn't pay him royalties, allegedly. And you have the balls to complain about other people downloading the music. It's not even fucking yours. Like Lars, like not to shit on Lars, but man, is he ever a fucking prick sometimes, right? But everyone's got a good side and bad side. I'm sure I could be a rival Lars's prick side any day. Tommy Tallarico. So yeah, if Tommy could go back in time and like, hey, Roblox, I love that you're using my sound. Let's find ways we can work together. Don't worry, I'll never sue you. You can have the sound for free and just give it to them, right? Right. That's the first thing Tommy should have done. He should have been like, you know what, Roblox? Here's the fucking ownership of the oof sound. Take it. There's my token of goodwill. Like, let's work together and see what Roblox says. Because I'm pretty sure Roblox, if Tommy would have approached them like that, the Amico would have already launched, and I bet you there'd be a fucking Roblox game on it. You think? And then what would have happened? So that's where sometimes you can't let greed get to you, right? Like, I'm sure the copyright system, you could say, oh, I created something and I should just milk it that way. But a lot of the ways the future's going these days is you create stuff, you share it, and then you milk the thanks from everyone who's appreciative of getting it for free. Doesn't always work. Like, you can make something, share it. Some people will take it, no one will thank you. I know that's happened to me creating stuff too, but it's part of the risk. So I don't know any of the viewers. I'm gonna wrap up the video soon, but if you could put in the chat, what do you think? Did Tommy fuck up the Roblox thing? Really? Should he have just given them the oof sound, the full ownership, and then asked to work with them in a way that would improve the Amico? Like, that was a huge potential way to improve the Amico, working with the fucking most popular video game ever. Like, really? Like, come on. Don't let greed take it. And then I was thinking, just because it happened bad so far, maybe Tommy could turn it around. He could just call him up. He'd be like, you know what, guys? Sorry. I was starting a company and I was a little bit panicked for money. So I was thinking that I could turn my company around and help the investors. And that's why I was a little bit greedy with the Roblox thing. It's like, he could say, sorry, changed my mind. And now I'm willing to give you the Roblox sound for free, full ownership, if on the condition we can put our problems behind us and consider working together in the future. Can you imagine? That's Tommy's next big announcement. That'd be the biggest, best announcement from Tommy ever. So I like the announcements, the way we're going. Oh, that was the other thing. Almost forgot. We forgot the biggest part of the announcement. I was like, no, there was another part we didn't talk about. I'll just look it up on the history. Part of the email was Phil Adams telling everyone to watch that the testing is going great. Families are playing the Intellivision Amico. They love it. Oh, we got Mad Pixel. He's did a video. He does not look happy that Intellivision has good news. He's like frowning in his thumbnail. Let's bring that up. Poor guy, eh? Like, so many people hate the Intellivision so much. When good news comes out, it literally ruins their day. It's like the creative good spirits, when they do good things, they're so caught up into the evil and destruction that they just hate the idea of goodness. Creation just drives them crazy. They want to destroy. Allegedly. All right, so what were we going to do? Oh, yeah, we're going to show the video. So the testing has been going good. Let's bring up some reports of how great the testing's been going. Oh, you fuckers, man. They won't let me look at my history and oh, there we go. When I have a smaller monitor, they're like, oh, you can't look at the history. It's like, well, fuck off. Just show me the history. All right, so we'll try to keep this under an hour. So we'll just look. Oh, come on. How many commercials are there? So there's a channel called The Original Next Level Gaming, and Phil Adams' email links you directly to it. And in it, the video shows a family, arguably one of the testers. I think he's a tester and video game person. And they go through, I won't show the video, but they're playing it. So now we get to see all the people saying that Intellivision isn't real. They're full of shit. Intellivision Amico is real. People are playing it. God damn. I get it. People want to badmouth something, but get a new way to badmouth it. We can see the console's real. Tommy wasn't lying. He's not a scammer. The console is real. People are playing it. They like it. So yeah, that's the big news update. So I hope we keep getting good news like that, right? Let's keep the Amico dream alive. Amico forever. Hopefully Amico forever will be back, the real version of it, not people trying to badmouth and scam it, allegedly. Now, some people are saying that was kind of mean. The Amico haters, they literally took the Amico Forever channel and tried to like get the viewers from it by calling themselves it after it's over. I don't know if it's true. I didn't even really watch to see if that happened, but if it did, that's fucked up. Yeah, to each their own. Like, really, people love watching a train wreck. So can you hate on people for providing what people want to watch? All right, so the Intellivision Amico, we got good news. It's coming out. People are starting to make fun of the technology again, saying it's old and outdated. Technically, all they need is for it to work. It doesn't matter if it's old and outdated. If it's old and outdated, that's actually good for a company because then they have a better chance to profit or even sell it cheaper in the future. So yeah, congratulations to everyone who got their console orders, the good ones. And if anyone wants refunds so bad and they can't do it, maybe let's start some sort of form where we can trade. So people that want the pre-orders, the special pre-orders, and the people that want the refunds, they can in exchange with each other, right? I don't know if that's legal. Someone can put it in the chat. Would it be legal for people that want refunds to sell their orders to people that want them? And that might even pay a premium to get it. All right, so a big shout out to all the Intellivision fans. Sorry, everyone, that I couldn't do the show live, but we'll try to do an Intellivision live stream in the future. And thanks, Phil Adams, for the big information. That was fucking sick. Finally, some updates. And not to pick on Pat, everyone, make sure to tune in to the CU podcast. As much as I disagree with Pat about some of the topics in the Amico, it's still a great show, and I think everyone should watch it. Even check out his Patreon if you can help. And Ian's, he's got the health issues, right? So try to help Ian too, not just Pat. All right, so yeah, I think it's good news. Congratulations to all the Amico fans that have been hanging on. Tommy's getting a good laugh. Phil Adams is getting a good laugh. And the haters are freaking out and panicking that, oh God, the Amico is real. It's coming out soon. And it might even outsell the Nintendo Switch. Can you imagine the investors cashed in big time? You never know, right? All right, so we got the Intellivision Running Man. If anyone wants to get these 3D cases to display their Intellivision coins, I guess you can talk to me and I'll share the link, or you can just look it up. They're called 3D coin displays. I don't make them. I don't get any profits from promoting it, but I'm just saying, hey, if you got Intellivision collectibles and you want a great way to display it, check that out. And we also got, yeah, the Video Games Live poster if anyone wants one. I'll try to limit to the first three people that asked for a poster because I only got hundreds left. All right, so thanks anyway. All right, let's go to the sponsor message. If you happen to get any Intellivision update news in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, and I'm saying the entire intro thing wrong. All right, let's go to the center screen for a sec. Or the patrons. Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, and everyone at Patreon. Thanks a million. Let's go to the affiliate links. Now, the affiliate links that I got here, not only to help me, but they're also to help others. So hope you check them out. Patreon, that one, I don't give anything for my patrons. So if you sign up, you're just wasting your money. I'm just kidding. I do have nothing. Society 6, finishing quick is my specialty. It's a saying that comes on t-shirts, bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Even my girlfriend wants to get the sheets. So if anyone wants to get us a gift, that'd be cool. Get us our own sheets so we can use them. Anyways, Hideout TV, it's a cool system that'll pay you to watch videos. Similar to YouTube, except instead of giving all the revenue to the greedy creators like me, they actually split it with the viewers. So there's like viewers and creators getting paid out. I think it's a better system than YouTube. And if you want to check it out, do that. I heard the Amazon Fire Stick pays extra points, so make sure to check it out. Right, and Swagbucks, it's like one of those market research things where they send you a little question about what you bought and then offer you percentage back of your purchase price. So the percentage back depends how you get it out. I think is gift cards or something, could be wrong. But all it is a very quick survey. Like, what did you buy? Did you like it? Would you buy it again? Would you recommend it? Next thing you know, you got your percentage back. So it's basically what other marketing companies do, except they actually pay you out. All right, GameKit, same thing. It's like a drug dealer for video games. They're like, hey, guys or kids or whoever's playing these games, try them. So they'll give you free games. And then they actually pay you if you can beat part of the game. Say if you get to level 10 or if you level up your character to level 100, whatever it is, if you reach that goal, they'll pay you. So they're basically giving you free games, paying you to play them, and how they make money is if you get hooked. So if you get hooked and then you start making in-game purchases, boom, they made their cash. So they can actually profit with that model. So I hope everyone checks it out. Some of the viewers actually did it and even made it to payout. So congratulations to them and thank you for helping out. I really appreciate it. And free Bitcoin, it's a wallet system for crypto. It'll just give you free crypto, tiny bits of it, and give you a wallet so you can test it out to what it's like to have crypto. And you can deposit into it. You can do other things with it, like collect interest. But just remember to follow all your regional laws, including for the virtual maid sex machine. It's for adults and men only. Ladies need a sex machine. They know who to call. Just kidding. My girlfriend wants to emphasize the just kidding part. Anyways, $10 off on 150 or more with the coupon code LYINGBS. That's LYNBSN. And make sure to check out my website too. All right. I think I did enough of the baby voice. Sorry I forgot it on. Let's go back to the wrapping up the show. Oh yeah, everyone saw the games room already. Got myself an Intellivision Classic, Coleco Classic, Intellivision Sears, Intellivision 2, OG Intellivision with the voice. And I got the Intellivision games under it on this shelf. And I got the modern Amico games here. They're just waiting for the new console that's coming soon. All right, let's go to the fire screen. All right, here we go. If you happen to get any Intellivision Amico news in your vaporizer and tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. If it doesn't happen, you give the show a like and a share. Really appreciate it. And just make sure you never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Bye for now.
See you later, everyone. Hope everyone had a good long weekend, and thanks for watching the Intellivision News. If you want more Intellivision News, don't forget to like, sub, and share, and all that jazz, and we'll try to keep the Intellivision News coming. I know it's few and far between to find people that are still pro-Amico, but they're out there. Now, I'm not actually the biggest fan of Amico. I hope that Tommy would come out with a more violent sex machine, but hey, if it turns out the Amico does well and he can make a more adult-oriented console in the future, that'd be great too. So I'm willing to support him until that point. Let's hope. Alright, so good luck, and yeah, keep up the good positive news about Tommy. We've seen some funny roast videos, let's try to make some positive ones. And what do the viewers think? Is the update from Phil Adams good news, bad news? What do you think? Am I hyping it up too much? I think it's great news. Bye for now, everyone. See you later.
Amico.